Greetings fellow gamers, welcome back to the Onion channel, welcome back to Schedule 1. I can't lie, this update has me so hyped on the game. Obviously I'm in the beta servers right now, the update will be live on the ordinary game in about a week's time. Keep an eye on the Discord if you want updates. But I'm going to teach you today how to make this beautiful little setup. 2 botanists and a handler, how to keep everything stocked up with deliveries at all times so that everything is always being produced. The reason this guide is so important is that they've added this feature of filtering what goes into what slot in storage racks and just in general in any sort of storage capacity. And I have done it in such a way where basically the handler just keeps it stocked up at all time and they never stop working. All you need to do is order deliveries and pay them. It's ridiculous. Let's get into it. Now, let's begin with grass. I'm not going to spend forever talking about this. It's probably not necessary. This is just for beginners or for people who don't know the best way to set up a marijuana setup as efficient as possible, especially in the sort of early game because, I don't know, let's be honest, when's the last time any of us were in the early game? So, what I've gone ahead and done is set up 8 suspension racks and 8 moisture preserving pots on one side and the same on the other side, and we're going to put a large storage shelf here and a large storage shelf there. Also, if you're like me, personally, I like to light things up. I have some wall-mounted lights, but I'm just going to save them until after we put in the LED grow lights. Now, you may be wondering, why aren't I using air pots, which are the most expensive pots, and why aren't I using the full spectrum grow lights, which are the most expensive lights? Personally, for extra 15% growth speed for like an extra $200 or something, I don't think the most expensive lights are worth it. And if you look on the wiki, the moisture preserving pots are just straight up better than the air pots. Now, in a previous video on growing marijuana, I said that 1 light in between 2 pots would grow the product. That's wrong. I was wrong about that. My apologies. There should be a time lapse on screen right now showing how wrong I was. I tested it for myself. But we're just going to go ahead and light up all of these pots. Now, as I said, it does look nice with the purple glow, but I prefer to have a lot of visibility while I'm working. So I am going to activate a couple of these lights here just to light things up. We'll do one more here. Now that is a fully illuminated place. So let's just get rid of 2. That's 6 wall lamps that we need. Let's grab our packaging station, let's grab our lockers, and let's remove these shelves for now. I'm thinking this is a perfect place for a packaging station. I'm thinking of even bringing it forward like that. Placing this back here, you'll see why in a moment. And this wall we can use for our lockers, just like that. And we'll place another shelf here. That should be all the shelves we need. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and assign this botanist to this locker, supplies, this one here, and then I'm shift clicking all the pots. We've done this before. We can speed right through this and we'll be doing the exact same for the other botanist. And just like that, everything is done. One botanist has this as their supply shelf and all of the pots, and same on this side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select every single pot, click manage. For our purposes, we're just going to have fertilizer and OG Kush just to keep things simple, and we're going to send everything to this shelf here. Why this shelf? You'll see in a moment. So as far as the botanists are concerned, that's their job done. Now what we need is to take care of our handler. So let's assign him to the final locker. Let's assign him to this packaging station. Let's give him the route that brings the product to the packaging station, and let's give him the route that brings this back thing to the packaging station. And now we actually do, egg on my face guys, we actually do need 1 more large storage rack, and I'm thinking about placing it here. Maybe you can place it wherever you want. I like the idea of placing it here, even because this weird little door, it never gets used, so I'm just going to use that as the destination. So before we do handler routes, obviously we've got those first 2 done. Let's forget about the loading dock for now. We want to actually whitelist these storage racks. So the way I have things set up, to make this property run 3 times, I've got 8 extra long life soil, 24 seeds, 24 fertilizer. That's obviously to make it run 3 times on this side, and then I have got the same again to run 3 times on that side. So what we need is we need to whitelist this for extra long life soil. Then we need to whitelist this for fertilizer, this for fertilizer, this for fertilizer, this for OG Kush seed. Obviously I'm using OG Kush. You can use whatever kind of seed you want, sour diesel, granddaddy, perp, even coca. So just like that, 1 slot of extra long life soil, 3 slots of fertilizer, and 4 slots of seeds, and we'll do the same on this side. Okay, now that's all done. OG Kush at the very bottom here, 3 fertilizer, 1 soil. Obviously this is extra long life soil. What I am going to do, actually, because I planned for it to be 24, but if you purchase 24 for one side of this, just say it's fertilizer or seeds, they'll fill it up 30 seeds because they stack in 10s, right? So you actually need to work on full stacks, even though this isn't going to work on full stacks. So now what we have is 6 stacks of fertilizer, 6 stacks of OG Kush seeds, 2 stacks of extra long life soil, and I have some jars as well, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to whitelist jars. Also, if you do want to whitelist baggies as well, you can actually select jars and baggies with shift, which is a nice little feature. So obviously I'm just going to whitelist all of these as jars. I've actually just cleared Linda Smith's routes, because I think it's best that she actually goes from loading dock 1 to this shelf. That's where jars will be. She goes from loading dock 1 to this shelf. That'll be supplies. And she goes from loading dock 1 to this shelf. Also needs to take product from this shelf to this shelf, and that's her done. She's on the packaging station. Bagged product will end up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna wind the time back, set time to, let's just do like the morning, and I'm gonna pay only the handler just to get everything stocked up, and let's watch her go to work. So now, because of the whitelisting of items, I said this in my most recent video, she should fill things up exactly how we want. She's gone ahead and stuck in a stack of jars. We only had the 1 stack of jars, and we'll just make Linda's life a wee bit easier. Oh my god, we're almost full. Give jar 20. Huh. There we go. Amazing. Look at that. Oh, hello Linda. Doing your job. Very good. Oh my god, this is so satisfying. The way we can now completely designate what goes where, it's crazy. The only issue is that obviously this is operating off of full stacks. So the botanist will use 8 of this soil right here, and there'll be 2 left over, and it won't equally cycle every time, which, if you have OCD like me, kind of annoying. I don't actually have OCD, but you know what I mean. Okie dokie, I've just set the time to late night again, because our wonderful handler Linda has finished stocking things up, and look how perfect it is. I cannot get over this quality of life change. However, that's another thing that we did not anticipate, or at least I didn't. I should have realistically blacklisted anything from coming in here. So what you would actually do is delete that and go to blacklist and put everything, I guess. You could shift click everything. But what would be the easiest method for me personally would just be search OG Kush, would just be to order more. So instead of ordering what I ordered, just order 40 OG Kush seeds, 30 fertilizer, and 10 extra long life soil. Twice, obviously, if you're doing this setup. So what I will just do is give myself OG Kush seed 20 and fill it up just like that. Now, obviously, the ladies are all ready to go. Everything is primed and ready to go. So without further ado, I am going to pay these wonderful women. Money for you. Money for you. Let's pay them for 2 days. Because it's best that way. I wonder what 30 grand looks like in there. Oh, that's really cool. Look at them all spring into action. Now, what you can do while the ladies get botanizing, the reason I've set it up this way so that it's all like stacked up against each other is because I can't get past them right now because it's a little bit cramped, but employees can actually walk in between pots and suspension racks, unlike you, the player, which is really interesting. While they're doing that, before we start the time lapse, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly organize what your ideal delivery would be. So you would do Oscar's store, you would ask for jars if you want them. I would get would be 20 extra long life soil. No, maybe you actually don't want to do Oscar's store, you want to do the supply store, the hardware store, excuse me. So 20 extra long life soil. Let's do 60, wasn't it? 60 fertilizer. And obviously then we'll go and we'll buy 80 OG Kush seeds. So that is your order. 20 and 60 extra long life soil. If you want, obviously, why not get 140 jars? We don't want 140, let's just grab 80. Something like that. Place the order. And then while that's sitting here, she'll just stock it up as it goes. So it really actually, as long as you keep up with the OG Kush seeds and the deliveries, it really is a continuous process. The only thing I haven't accounted for is the fact that it's about to be messy in here. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to give myself 80 OG Kush seeds instead of, you know, going to the guy and getting them. Well, there you have it, gamers. I have to say, I rarely pat myself on the back as much as I'm about to, but this might be my cleanest setup yet. 3 employees in the storage unit feels perfect. I was honestly expecting 2. 3 is crazy. I guess it's a halfway point between 1 and 5, but yeah, there's just ample room to move around. There's lots of space here to, you know, access everything, and it doesn't feel real cramped, and everything looks nice. The only thing I don't like is that a large storage rack doesn't perfectly fit in this space here. You know, everything's well lit. You never need to go back here, because, like, you never need to go back here. This is why you don't. Excuse me, Amanda. Get out of my fucking way. But yeah, it's just, oh my god, this whitelisting thing, it is such a game changer. The filter tabs on the thing. Obviously, we're producing premium OG Kush. That goes without saying, but I see the potential to have this just as a really, really high production grow house, because you don't need 2 botanists working around the clock, especially with a handler keeping them stocked up at all times, and all you need to do is send a delivery and give them seeds. Like, it's insane the amount of product you can produce here. Keep an eye out on my channel, because I'm going to do basically this exact same principle for a crystal setup, and then maybe a coca setup. I just don't really see a productive coca setup happening in the storage unit. It kind of feels like overkill. By the time you're on coca, you wouldn't be using the storage unit anyway, right? So we'll do a crystal setup and then we'll see. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching the channel, gamers. This Schedule 1 update has me hyped on the game again, I cannot lie. Thank you all very much for watching. More Schedule 1 content coming soon if you subscribe.